QUEST2REPAIR.
Okay, let's see. I'm gonna set up.
And that's me. Yes, yes, yes. What's good? What's good? It's your boy HT. Power 702. Let's get tripping like a kid. Untie his shoes. You see the vibe and you see the move. And if you don't know where you're at, well, now you do. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Howard Hour. That's a place from me to you. Yes, 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 folks. I know it's been a while since you've seen this little pretty avatar face. But yes, yes, man, we're back. We're back in the place. And I'm so happy to be back here with y'all. Man, man, man. It been a turbulent month. We've been doing. If you've seen September is my birthday month. Yes, man. Shout out to all the Libras, everybody that's tuning in. They even got Virgos on this month too. So shout out to y'all. Nothing against y'all. But man, yes, man, it's birthday all around. But not even as that. It been a week that we all get to go through, and we made it to the end of. And man, I am happy to see that, folks. When I say happy to see that, we all seen the bullshit. We all seen what's been going on. And we all get to say, hey, we got to watch what we say, even on stage. I've seen somebody get canceled with their own show that was named after them. And that's crazy to me. I never thought that you could be suspended from your own entity. And that made me think, do we have to have two names? Because I started to think about, like, what would be my other name if I ever got canceled from being Howard? Do I become Jason or do I become Ben? Or do I just become Ben Affleck? And that's how you know you become the next accountant. But not even is that, folks, man. With this week, we've been seeing also some drops. And with my music people, I say with drops, man, we had the great, man, we got Young Thug. If y'all don't know who the Young Thug is, but Young Thug just got off for beating a court case. But not even as that, this man ended up dropping a new album. If I'm not mistaken, yes, cuz Cuddy. Yeah, that's the way that he be talking sometimes. It's actually an intriguing album there that also with this album, he has a person that he was at opposition with, one of his ops, if all my people don't know. One of his people that he was actually beefing with is on this album with him, and they have a track together, man, and it's really amazing to see that they suppressed their beef. They really came together to make something for the hip hop community. But not even with that, man. All my females, man. Cardi B, she dropped her new album. Yes, man. Yes, Cardi B is out there making waves, and she broke a couple of world records with it too, man. They say her promo rollout broke a Guinness World Record. And man, that's like something that's cool to see, especially in the rap community with hip hop, man. Hey, it's spreading everywhere. But also with that, man, if I'm not mistaken, Justin Bieber, he's making a deluxe edition to his new album that he just had dropped. He got Swag 2 that's out. So I think he's gonna be doing a Swag 2.8 or something. And speaking of these 2.8s, man, I just had to put a little pause into this. I don't know if everybody been seeing this, but man, Mark Zuckerberg, yes, folks, I guess he greenlit a sequel on his own life. That's the first thing I ever seen that, like, hey, somebody is making a sequel with their life. If you do not know, Mark Zuckerberg has a movie about how Facebook came about. It's called The Social Network. With if I'm not mistaken, Jesse Eisenberg, he plays him and everything, and not even just that, but it's about how Facebook came about and whoop de whoop. That's basically how Mark life is, and they're talking about he's making a sequel that's called The Social Reckoning. Yes, I don't know if you've been watching a lot of Tom Cruise movies, but I really feel like this is going to be an action movie to what's going on in the metaverse, and I'm really intrigued to see what's going to be going on with that. Are they going to showcase the headsets? Are they going to showcase the Orion? But not even is that. Or they just showcase Mark Zuckerberg being a badass? And man, we get to see that unfold. Shout out to Variety for dropping the news and everything, the cast and all that they have for it. If I'm not mistaken, Jeremy Allen is supposed to be playing Mark Zuckerberg. So I'm really intrigued to see how this is gonna go about. And man, let's just see how Hollywood will put their hands on it. But not even as that, folks, man. Before I even get it rolling, man. Plug time. Make sure that you tune in tomorrow night, September 27th, man. Yours truly. We got Meta Woodstock 4 going on. Yes, throw up your foes. Man, we have it going. We have it going strong, but not even as that. We have it going for the fourth year in a row, man. We do it around my birthday time. It's amazing. We got some artists that's coming in. Got some surprise guests that I really want y'all to see, man, and really want y'all to pop up with. But make sure you tune in tomorrow. It'll be streaming live through Event Official Games, and we will be opening up the doors around, I want to say 7 p.m. Central. So make sure that you get in there before the server get packed out. You feel me? Because you don't want to be missing a show. Let's go, let's go. But man, I had to just sit there and get that plug in. Now we get back to the regular schedule programming. That's what I love about having your own variety at the time. Shout out to my people that's in the crowd, man. Shout out to my people that's tuning in from the live stream. But yes, man, yes, tonight is a show that was really, really way overdue, like a library book. And I say this in a way of when I say like way overdue, I met these individuals at if I'm not mistaken, my first conference that was yeah, AWE. And now I've been just with that I got to see these individuals each time I went to a different sector of this like technology factor. And with this technology factor, like I just think it's all a whole, like it's a place that's all together. And when I say all together, this is what makes the space. We come together to learn, we come together to thrive, but a lot of times we don't know, we repair stuff. And I don't say in the terms of being like a handyman, or you say it in terms of just being, oh, I gotta just fix the world. But to have individuals that sit here and make a craft about fixing, and when I say like fixing to a factor of not just like with technology, but with the components of technology, that's what makes the world like really revolve. And when I say, man, I got to see these individuals in different like sectors and not just being in this community of like a whole like with content status, but being in this community of of a sector of really showcasing this is what's needed. And I'm so glad to really see that the metaverse loves this duo, but not even just that, the whole XR community loves this duo. And man, when you really got XR pushing behind you like it's NASCAR, that's how you know you're really doing something that's on this platform that's really needed. And I'm so glad to really introduce them to the stage tonight. So I really need y'all to give it up for the duo that's behind Fix My Oculus, Mr. Dan and Mr. Preston. Let's give it up for them.
Woo! Woo! Heck yeah!
Here we are.
Yeah, what's up, Howard?
Yes,
How's
how
it
you doing?
going?
How you doing? Doing good. Can't complain.
Heck yeah. We're super excited to be here this evening. It
Oh,
has
I'm
been
so
way
happy.
overdue.
Yeah, it's
Now,
like
to
a
correct
library
you,
book.
I think we met you at CES in
Oh,
January
CES. And then we met again
in
with
Houston.
AWE.
No, then we met
Yeah.
in Houston at Industrial Immersive. In Houston, you were there doing some footage, weren't you?
Yes, Industrial Immersive. That's twins.
Yep, Digital Twins.
Yes.
And then we met at AWE again. Yep. And
See,
then
that's what I really like.
this guy can put him back at the beach house the
That's
beach.
true.
Yeah.
He was getting crazy.
Yeah. Howard was getting a little crazy. I remember that.
hey, hey, some stuff we gotta keep on the wraps like the mummy, but no, man, like
Yeah.
but no, like how you said, like it's really different sectors, and no, man, that's great. So CES, industrial, and AWE, and that's what I mean about with a blur. Like that's all that's in the course of a year,
Hmm.
and it's really amazing to see that factor because you see how much time really passes by, like in the course of a year.
Hmm.
And I did not really understand that until like seeing with certain entities or no, so like well with your guys' craft, but not even just that, but being in this like type of field, like it's really it goes fast. I call it they used to say hyper
Yeah.
time, but I call it meta time because I'm sitting here
Meta
like man,
time.
that already feel like 2 years ago. But man, I thank y'all so much for coming through again. If y'all don't know, man, these dudes they just got off a live stream, so I know they've been in the camera footage mode all night. You feel me? But not even as that, man. I just
It's
get
been a
down
busy
to
day.
Huh?
Oh, I just said it's been a busy day for us. We've been doing a lot of streaming.
Mm.
Yeah.
And that's
How
what I
are you
mean.
going
Like,
to
so,
CES next 2026? I guess. Are you going to try to
yes,
go?
yes, I
Sweet.
am going. I got my
Awesome.
stuff already set up, and hey, we gotta get ready to be in the building.
That's wild. Who are you going to go with your team? Because you've got a team that you work with, right? Or are you going solo?
No, I go under my into that say with the Howard Hour, so I'm going down there
Okay.
to cover again. So
Heck yeah. We will definitely see you there.
yes, that's what I mean. Like that's what makes this space like. So I just get down with the nitty gritty. What brought y'all into like the headset world? Like not even just with the headset world, like but what brought y'all around VR?
Preston,
Oh
I already
man.
told this story tonight, so it's
You
your
did
turn.
tell this story tonight. So me and Daniel had always been very entrepreneurial minded, and
Mhm.
it's funny because for a thing that we just happened to line up on was VR, and we started. We purchased a small pop up VR arcade in Bozeman, Montana, and so we really had there was no like thought to do VR repair. It wasn't even on the radar whatsoever. So we just kind of went with the VR arcade for a while, and then we ended up kind of moving the arcade back home to Arkansas, where we're originally from. So if you guys have used Fix My Oculus, we're located in Rogers, Arkansas, Walmart country. So, woo!
Hey, so where the Walmart originated? Hey, y'all seen that?
Yeah,
That was the first
yeah,
one. That's some true facts.
yeah. It's a huge Walmart culture there, by the way. So it's
Like
an
when you
interesting area.
see, like I'm about to go on a deep dive, like Walmart culture. Like you know, like they have the Amish people, or do they have like a whole Walmart community? Like, yeah, everybody goes here, sort of
Kinda.
like
They do.
like severance.
The Actually, it's funny. Walmart just built a new home office, but it's more like a campus, and it stretches out over like half the town of Bentonville now, and it's apartments and it's restaurants, and but that's their home office. It's like a university campus. It's huge. So yes, there is a Walmart town and a Walmart culture.
Oh
That's what I
yeah.
mean. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
And you see that. So, and to bring you onto the VR status, just shout out to Miss Trixie. Oh, I say, oh, shout out Miss Love. I didn't see you over there too,
Yeah,
man. But
Lovely's here. Trixie's
yes,
here. Hey y'all, how's it going?
yes, man. It's cool to see the community really come out and support. And I'm gonna
Well,
keep saying community because I say that's the word of the night. R.I.P. We Herman. R.I.P. But yes, community is really like well behind well
oh
what you
yeah.
guys do. And
Well,
that
we
was what
started. We what we finished. So where we ended up leaving this office, we moved the arcade to Rogers, Arkansas, and we had the arcade for many years. But during that time, there were people that would come into the arcade asking if we could fix the headsets or the controllers, and we had never really considered doing that. At that time, we were using HTC Vive and some Valve
Mm.
Index units in the arcade, so we would fix those units. So that was kind of where we started it, and kind of where it originated. It was fixing our own equipment, and then initially people would come in, like I was saying, and they would say, "Hey, can you guys fix this?" Daniel was always like, "Well, they asked was it Best Buy, GameStop, and then they would ask." Other companies to see if they would fix it, and obviously Meta wasn't going to do it. So we just kind of filled this void that we felt like was needed in the VR space, or like you say, the
Mm.
VR community. And it's kind of just took off from there, and kind of give you guys some background, some insight that we didn't really talk to a lot of people about this. But the arcade, it was called Sixth Dimension, and we had it up until mid last year, but we
Yeah.
chose to actually close the arcade down because we felt like Fix My Oculus needed all the attention that we could give it. And a lot of our time and energy was being divided with, and this is for anybody that runs their own business or maybe has like a side hustle. It's like, where does your energy go? And we felt like it was time to close the arcade down because we felt like Fix My Oculus
What happened?
the
Yes, sir.
it was the
Oh,
place
my
to
son
be.
just walked in. Just you
No
know that goes
worries,
live
man.
timer.
All good. As long as he's safe, he's in
Oh
good
yeah,
hands.
as
Yeah.
always.
But yeah, that's kind of where we started, and it's progressed from there. And Daniel, I'll let him talk about maybe the YouTube channel. I don't know. We kind of I get ahead of myself sometimes. So
No.
Oh
Yeah.
no,
No.
you've been reading my notebook, so that's good. We're going through it right through the line of question. But no, like I say, no, just to put a little pause before I say, you come up there. Like I just love what you said about like you had to have a focus, And that's like with like a lot of times, like I was just saying again, like earlier with like about with a community, a lot of times you don't understand like that becomes a responsibility. And with great powers
Yeah.
come great responsibilities,
Yep.
and especially like
Love that line.
you can't be at all play. Oh yeah, I'm a comic book head and Uncle Ben, man, many moderated, but like that's really true factors because I did not understand that until get into the sense of like making like with the Howard Hour like a business sense. I couldn't just sit here and be on VR all the time like how I used to like when I first started. So now I was seeing like with the sense of moderation,
Hmm.
and but now when that's that I was seeing the business angle with it. I'm like, okay, I know I'm gonna be having to put this all the eggs with this basket instead of trying to get this hand right here to try to get me some eggs out. But no, I said I love what you were saying about like you
Yeah.
really have to like find that balance. So yeah, no, that place of zen.
Namaste.
Yes, yeah. Oh, he was waiting on you, Mr. Dan.
Oh,
Oh,
what was the question? Oh,
I know.
namaste.
No, he's
Sorry,
no, I'm
namaste.
saying, I said, yeah, no, I'm saying, but no, what he was talking about with he was
The
with the
YouTube
YouTube
channel.
aspect because we've
Oh,
seen like with
yeah,
you with the VR, but what made
sure.
that YouTube merger?
Well, really, it was born out of a need for us to be able to reach more people. Once we started repairing the VR headsets, of course, we were doing it locally, and we were just trying to figure out how we could sort of expand our reach. People were calling us from outside of our local area. I mean, just Missouri and Oklahoma and Texas. And hey, do you guys know anybody that would fix these headsets? I googled it, and you guys are like the only ones, and you're like 5 hours away. And so we had this kind of idea to we start the website, and because at that point you were just a small business with Google Maps, really. Google My Business. And so we started the website, and then we kind of gave people an option on the websites to ship things in. And at that point, it became sort of a marketing exercise in imagination to figure out how we could reach the maximum amount of people. And I figured that, well, if I could make TikTok videos and they could go viral or at least get pretty good reach, then we could probably reach a wider audience, and at least people would know about us if they need us. And then the TikTok channel really just kind of started to blow up. Of course, the YouTube channels surpassed it now, but everything really started just doing TikTok videos, just trying to inform people of like, if this happens to you, if you get the black screen of death, this is probably the most likely cause. Like if you're having controller tracking issues, like this is an easy fix. Like if you need to factory reset your headset, blah 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 blah. That just kind of expanded out organically into YouTube and Instagram as the content sort of grew, and the necessity for the increased reach grew.
Mm. And I
Yeah.
mean, and that's like again, that's another sense to really see that merger aspect. That's ahead of time, and like how you say to already see that that can go into an aspect of being all under the same umbrella. What made it like? Because how you say you're doing it from a business sense. What made it stay into a factor of like you was keeping it still with this storefront of because again you could have did a brick and mortar factor with that, but did you
Yeah.
see that it was more longevity with the online base, or was that this still something that you just wanted to still try with it?
I mean, I think at our core, we still kind of are a brick and mortar. I mean, we do take walk-ins from time to time, not as many as we used to. And of course, we were a brick and mortar when we did computer repair and the VR arcade thing. My philosophy on it has been just on the business side that everything's moving toward being online, and retail is just one of those things that's going to continue to progress that way. I think we saw a lot of that during 2020. Is that a lot of these big retail chains like Gap Inc. is probably a great example because they have many brands. Old Navy, Banana Republic, Athleta, Gap. They all kind of fall under that Gap Inc. brand. And what we started to see was that their website analytics were doing a lot better than their actual storefronts, and their storefronts were almost just facilitating the returns and the distribution of online orders because people couldn't go into the stores. Same thing with movies and streaming. Same thing with food distribution. So Uber Eats and
Hmm.
DoorDash really started to see their rise during 2020 and 2021. And so for me, it just kind of was born out of this philosophy that eventually most businesses, at least if they want to grow, need to reach the widest audience possible. And the wider your audience is, especially within a niche like VR, the better you're going to do. So my thought was just to kind of emulate what those larger businesses were doing, and increase our reach, of course, online, so that we could expand our audience.
I don't mean, oh, I see now. He's the business side. The business side with this. And so,
What?
but not even is that no. Because again, I love seeing that aspect because you're supposed to see both sides with this, and I did not understand that until becoming a business owner. But not even just that, you see the commodity that it is.
Yeah.
And I was just literally saying this in a live stream the other day that I was just on talking about like that's how I knew about the entertainment and everything was going to be stopping in VR when I was on here
Yeah.
a couple of years ago, just performing wise doing my shows
Mm,
before I was doing my festivals and everything. Now to it was just open mics and showcases, and I was seeing that cats was trying to like throw meta record deals in here and everything. Now to
Hmm.
you have AI getting real life record
Yeah.
deals, and that's like
that's wild.
so yeah, it's like mind blowing to me because I'm like, man, I seen that come from a place like where like but people was just laughing at like something like that happening to now like how you're saying like I would never thought I would be seeing like a flood come in of people having to get their VR stuff like really worked on. And
Yeah.
I say that because it brings me down to about with the consoles or we come from the gaming phase like many times like
Hmm.
we had times where we ran into an issue with our system and we didn't know what to do about it with or so we either had to go and sort out learn or either do it ourselves. And I'm
Hmm.
seeing now that like how technology is becoming to the point now where either you're going to have to send it to somebody because if you work on it yourself and you don't know what you're doing, now you're going into a place of oblivion, how I'm calling it.
Oblivion.
No, I mean, because like, if no, because
Yeah.
I'm a person that I used to work on cell phones and everything a lot. Like, so I like to stay with the trend. And once I noticed that iPhone was really, yes, I'm putting y'all on blast, iPhone. When I was noticing that they was really changing up a lot of their like components and everything on the inside, so certain people who do not like, could not work against their market or so, are like, hey, like you got to really have this certain type of tool to really get inside of it. And it used to
Oh
be back
yeah. Hmm.
we used to sit there. We could just, hey, okay, we could rink a dig or we could do it to the point. Like you have to do it a precise way to really fix it. And that brings me to like one of my questions with you guys, like with the VR repair. Not even just that, but what made you like work? Like I say, precisely. I mean, I see y'all work on ride variety, but what made y'all? So I guess stay in the field of like with the headset commodities. Like do y'all look to plan to like work on like the haptic suits and all this and that, or do y'all plan to stay with a base of like keeping it VR, XR, AR components?
We've talked about expanding into more accessories and like haptic feedback vests and straps and things like that. Really, I guess from a business perspective, it's going to come down to the value of those items, and the all business, in my estimation, is your ability to put in energy and get out value. And the less energy you can the less energy you can output, and the more value or revenue you can generate off of that, the better your business is going to do. Unfortunately, the nature of things like the haptic feedback vests or the accessories, let's just call them like battery straps, is that they're pretty cheaply they're pretty cheaply produced, compared to the VR headsets, which more function like consoles. So the value of restoring those or repairing those just hasn't been there historically. I suppose that's just going to vary on a case by case basis. If an accessory, like let's just call it like a VR treadmill or VR shoes or something like that, is
Hmm.
$1,000, $2,000 item, the repair value on that is really high. But then you have to kind of ratio that against whatever the energy input is into that
Hmm.
repair. With headsets and controllers, it's kind of a nice balance of the energy input is pretty low. We can train people to do it, and we can obtain the components to do it. And the value that people place in those items is relatively high because people have, I guess you'd almost call it like sentimental attachment to those items over
Mm-hmm.
like a wrist strap or a head strap. People are not as emotionally attached to their head straps and wrist straps as they are to their headsets themselves. Same thing with consoles versus power cables. It's like you can just go out and buy a power cable, but people don't like to go out and buy new consoles. Part of that is the value, part of that is the sentimental
Hmm.
attachment, and you just kind of weigh that when you're in a service business.
I've had this phone since it was a flip phone. Now it's now it's up. But that's a
Right.
that's how I can see a lot of times with that aspect. But
Right.
no, it's
Phones are a great example. People place a lot of value in phones, both because they're expensive and because they have emotional and sentimental attachment. They hold memories. They're a function for work. They're a function for communication. So the repair value on those is very, very high. So that's a great example of something that, yeah, people need their phones repaired because they have a lot of stake in them.
well, that was one of the main reasons why I really like. I don't know how many times I had like the famous man. I have to really have this phone. I gotta really have it. I'm
Yeah.
like, we
Oh
could
yeah.
upload your cloud or so. But then I'm saying, like how you said, the way that they got it or
Yeah.
the, the attachments that they
It
built behind. I mean, I seen a person marry their phone, so I can
yeah.
understand
Right.
100. Like,
You're talking about Apple, and I worked for Apple for a little while, and the repairability. We are very big proponents of repair, but I've always noticed, like, when we started to work on devices, Apple has all of their like little components serialized. So you were talking about their components and special tools, and they do have some of that. But there was times when they started rolling this stuff out, it's like, wow, every component in your phone is serialized to that specific device, and I was like, that's crazy. I can't believe they're doing that. So they know if you change the camera out of it, it's not the right one. If the battery is not the same, they know that. There's just a handful of things that Apple has done specifically that has
Yeah.
just blown me away on what
Apple's
they're.
pretty unique in that regard, though, right? I mean, there's not a whole lot of companies that are so non-competitive that they serialize every component. Even
Yeah.
even Nintendo is not that bad, and Nintendo has some of it. PlayStation has some of it too, actually, with the drives and the chipsets and the boards.
That's
But
true.
it's
but
definitely
that's what.
not
But it
something.
comes over. But like how you say, but it comes over a time with like. Probably that's why I see like with the not just like with the MetaQuest, but I'm noticing because I mean I know y'all worked on I mean if I'm not mistaken you work on the Vision Pro 400 or you had a couple of headsets with that too or have y'all had
We've
that
not
come
really worked
across?
on the Vision Pros that much, but we've ventured into other headsets. So obviously the Quests are our biggest thing because there's just more of them. Plus they're just broadly more prone to breaking because they're standalone headsets and the age demographic that's using MetaQuests primarily is younger. PCVR headsets, because they're primarily tethered, just experience less wear and tear, and they're broadly targeted toward an older demographic, more PCVR enthusiasts, and they're more expensive. So people again place more stake, more emotional value in that purchase, and so they're less likely to break them. Whereas the MetaQuests are, I wouldn't say they're inexpensive, but $500 is a lot more affordable for a 13-year-old than a I'd say $2,000 like Play for Dream headset or something like that. So so it's just we don't see as many of the PCVR headsets, but I would say historically, Quest is probably number one. The indexes are probably number two. HTC products are probably number three. Well, PlayStation VRs, those are in there. They're
Yeah.
probably number two or three.
Yeah.
We're right in there. We repair a bunch of those. Mostly the cables on those. The headsets themselves are actually pretty resilient. But yeah, Apple Vision Pros, really high-end headsets, anything over $3,000, we just don't see that much of. So like all the commercial grade headsets, like the X-Dolls and stuff like that, they're just not as common in the repair. Well, there's just not as many of them. That's a factor, but they're just better taken care of. So
So you hear folks, yeah, they got the Apple Visions. That's why people be having them in the cases. I really
that's
see
right.
one person
Yeah,
they
Yeah.
people
had
really take
theirs.
care of them.
Oh no, and that's what I mean. I kid you not. I mean, you have to. Like
Yeah,
I said, you got $4,000 on your face, and it's not Prada. Like I
yeah,
really see that. Like it's like a whole demographic with that. And what made my mind blown with that was when, because again, going to AWE, you get to catch some things, and with the Howard Hour, I
Uh-huh.
was able to go to like their Apple Vision Pro class they had. And while there, I was like, I'm sitting there in the room. I'm like, it's literally like 30 people in there, all with an Apple Vision Pro. And I
yeah,
say it just like blew my mind because I say like I'm looking at it like I'm like this is $4,000 on your face and like one person sitting here just like literally just like dancing all in the hallway. One person like literally was skateboarding and I'm just like oh and but I'm watching like how they're being cautious And like then the famous thing that made me laugh, I'm like, oh, I'm seeing how they still connected because they have to have a big line still going down there, like with the battery pack or so, and
Yeah.
like you really got a lot of stuff that you can't, like you couldn't do with it yet. And I'm like, oh, this is really a high end headset. And that
Hmm.
brings me to like one of my questions with you guys. Do you feel like the headset is becoming a commodity now in these houses instead of like how you said now it used to be to a point like you have to be a high end headset to get at to now it's becoming affordable. Do you think
Oh,
that like
much. Yeah.
is that going to be
Oh
like a
yeah.
flood into like repairs too? You feel like, or is that going to be like more of like the game base? Like, yeah, if you get the screen of death or what, so we're gonna have to send in.
I think a lot of this is kind of based on the whims of the industry. If Mark Zuckerberg decides that he wants to put a headset in every single household, then that's probably what's going to happen.
Hmm.
Right now, his focus seems to be the AR VR glasses, and that seems to be the way that he's going. But there's competitors that are starting to spring up, and I would say VR is not dead. It's probably more popular, at least if you looked at the Steam numbers. If you looked at the monthly
Hmm.
reports on VR usage from Steam, it's more popular than it's ever been, and a lot of that has to do with the quantity of headsets that have been pushed out into the market by companies like Meta and PlayStation and Valve over the last 5 years. So yeah, I'd say it has become much more of a commodity. I mean, it's not a Nintendo Switch, but it's definitely up there. I think the last time I checked, um, the Quest 2 sold about 26 million units throughout its life until it got phased out or discontinued. The Quest 3 is sitting at about 3.5 million units, and the Quest 3S is sitting at about 3 million units since it was launched. So
That's
approximately 30 to 33 million units. So roughly 1 in 10 Americans has a headset. So broad roughly, and that's just including the Meta stuff. There's also the PlayStation stuff and the other PC VR headsets and the Apple Vision Pros. But yeah, I mean, approximately like one in 10 Americans has a VR headset within arm's reach.
See, man, that's what, and that's like it remind me of back what's the numbers on the Wii. That's how the Wii was. Like I
Yeah.
don't know, like I said, when the Wii
Hmm.
first came out, like that was literally because it was the universal like component.
Yeah.
Like you could work out on it, you could sit there like learn driving. Like I learned some people like learn like with their like sport reflexes and all that to like what I'm seeing now with the headsets. Like you have people, you don't have to get on the headset now just to play games. You can sit here now, learn on it, adapt from it. Like I see people now create, make movies, videos, and not even just that. Like I'm watching now, you can sit here and take apart your headset. Like I was just watching with a couple of like apps I was just on recently, like with
Hmm.
Sketchcraft or what. So they show you like literally the inside of your MetaQuest and everything, and that really made me start to think like, man, if we had this type of technology, or not even just that, had this type of information with like our consoles and everything back in the day, like how many of like repairs, or I hate to say like repairman, but how many of us will be able to facilitate and learning the ways of like, okay, hey, this is what this, like, this is what the gears of this is turning, instead of like, okay, now every time it
Yeah.
breaks or so, like you just, you do the famous, oh, okay, well if it breaks, I get another one, instead of like
Yeah.
the famous, like because a lot of people don't look at it. Well, I could get it fixed now, and
Well,
that's why I feel like. Well, you
go
just say, I'm
ahead.
sorry.
Sorry. No, no, you go
No,
ahead. Sorry, I
no, I
interrupted
say
you.
no, no, no. I just feel like with like when we're in the phase with that now, I'm sorry, I just been watching a lot of Shark Tank and just the way like you just been sitting here talking like about with the longevity of a business. Like I look at like no, because that's I would love you right now in front of like Dan and all that because I'm like, damn, he's like you just really made a point about this. Really goes way beyond of like with the AR components because a lot of people are not gonna just want to walk around with a headset on their face all day,
Right.
and but then like I start to think about the certain crowd like, well, hey, some people love to really still stay immersed. Like I know
Hmm.
like you have the new Meta Ray Bans and everything coming out, but that's not like VR. And
Hmm.
that's why I was really thinking about like with these headsets, like do you feel like now with you can repair of them, that the fixing of them, do you feel like they're gonna get to a point of trying to phase out the repairman with this? Does like still keep it all in, or do you feel like it's just gonna always be open?
I think it'll be open. I think again, I think companies like Apple are pretty unique in their non-competitive nature. Most companies are pretty open to the idea of right to repair or allowing other companies to repair or making their
Sit here
their
now,
products
learn on it.
repairable because it keeps them in the ecosystem. There's this kind of counter argument. I think I wouldn't say the conspiracy theorists, but definitely the people who are kind of like anti big corporation, anti big tech, which is a resentment I can understand. They have a tendency to think that somebody like Mark Zuckerberg's only looking at units sold. The more units I can sell, the better. So if they break and they can't be repaired, or people have to go buy new headsets, then woo, good for me. I made a lot of money. That's not really how it works, especially with a company like Meta that is really trying to build something with Meta Horizons and their whole ecosystem that's kind of baked into the cake on the VR headsets. They want more people in the ecosystem. Apple is trying to sell you new products. That is their business model. They don't care about the ecosystem as much. They don't invest as much into things like Apple TV and iTunes as they do into just getting you to buy hardware. Meta has a different approach to this, and just I feel like I'm open to being challenged on this notion, but my perception is that they want the ecosystem to grow. They want as many people. That's why we saw the 3S. That's the whole purpose of the 3S, is that the Quest 2 was getting older and they wanted to keep people in the ecosystem, and they're not phasing out the Quest 2 until 2027 because they want those people to stay in the ecosystem as long as possible. If even the Quest 1, we still have people that send in headsets that are Quest 1s and CV1s and Rift S, and those headsets are coming up on a decade old now. Meta I wouldn't say that it could never happen, and I'm certainly not saying that there's not other companies that don't act, or that do act non-competitively, because there certainly are, but just Meta doesn't seem to have any interest in making their products unrepairable. Every generation of Meta Quest has been just as repairable as the one before it. So, because again, I think that their brand is keeping people in here long enough for it to take off. For this gamble, this, what did I say? Reality Labs has spent since 20 or lost 60. Reality Labs has lost $60 billion since 2021. They need that money to pay back off, and the only way that they're going to get that is if people stay in the ecosystem.
No, that's man. This you making me laugh now, man. Because I say again, those the words. Well, ecosystem, man. When I was talking about the longevity of this, I was really just saying on a live stream I was on just the other day, because being on here, like, I started off as an entertainment factor, and then I looked way beyond, like, not, I would never imagine being hosting or so, or not even just having a conversation like this. But then I laughed because it still stayed all of the entertainment factor of being in this ecosystem of, like, the metaverse. I was telling, like, just explaining, like, we're in a day and age we could explain the metaverse so simple now, instead of, okay, hey, you just talking about the headset, to now, like, a lot of people, like, when they talk about with VR, AR, like, oh no, hey, you can get on here now to work out, you can get on here now to watch your favorite movie or see your favorite band. Oh no, you want to sit here and have immersion, like you talking about, you want to feel like you're swimming or so. You have, like, it's a different type of, like, they have a piece for everybody on here now. So, like, where it used to be, like, when you first got on here, I just thought, like, oh, hey, like, there wasn't, like, Horizon World, there was only venues. And then it went to the point of, like, we had venues, then venues got taken away because, they thought, like, a lot of people they wanted to just sit here and play games on here. But, you have a lot of people on here who, again, it was just sitting here, they're saying, like, no, I want to sit here and still be immersed. I want to have a show. To now we're bringing back, like, aspects like venue. So, like, it makes me see that technology is really for the people. But not even as that, but I'm seeing with the repair wise, like, I love that it goes not just way beyond with the people, but it stays within, because you have to be in this ecosystem to know about you guys. Like, you have to know, like, go, hey, just like, you could go to like, back in the day, they used to have, what was the game magazine we used to have? G4. You could hit up G4.
Oh yeah,
get all, like, your precise fit. I feel like y'all were the G4 of this ecosystem now, because I tell you, when I was doing my research, man, like, I had so many people, like, and one of my favorite people who's in this space, like, he's a real big VR head, and for him, like, when I sat here and posted you guys saying we was doing this show and all that, he hit me up personally, like, bro, I sent in personal mini items to them, like, man, they are wonderful guys, they know what they're doing, but not even as that, they are real about, like, how they do it. They're thorough. Like, they'll let you know, hey, this is what I worked on. This is what
it
got done.
TDVR?
Huh?
Who is the guy? TDVR?
Oh no, his name is the homie Leroy.
Leroy. I know
Leroy.
Yeah. See, that's what I mean. Like, but no, that's what I mean. Like, in this space, like, that's, like, it really reminds me, because I come from the music scene, and that really brings value. Like, if your name could really leave a bad taste in somebody's mouth, or it could really be like, oh man, oh hey, no, this is somebody you really do need to mess with, or this is something that you really do need to see, And
Yeah.
for a lot of people in the community, like, again, got some people in here tonight, like they hit me up like, "Oh, what time is the show?" Oh, those are my people, those are my guys. And I love seeing that factor because you don't see that with corporations a lot. You just can't be like, "Oh, well, hey, I know I could just I want to hit up Meta and be like, "Oh, well, hey, like I want to learn more about with the headset." You got to go through a proper channel or so. But no,
Yeah.
with you guys, you consider you have like questions that people are looking for. You can already have a form for them to be on it. Like with your question and answer, I was saying today, like you was answering questions that people could have like off the wall, like, "Oh, well, hey, if I drop my stuff in a bowl of water, how long do I have, like, to get it out or so?" Like you ask the question like,
Yeah.
"Why are you around a bowl of water with your VR?" But
Yeah.
it's like it's certain
Yeah.
stuff. I mean, you're looking at the reality of it, and not just because it's virtual and everything. And I say it brings me to like one of my final questions with you guys. Like, do y'all have a sense of like keeping this like we were saying earlier, like at a sense of like brick and mortar sense, or are y'all gonna adapt like with the storefront? Like, do y'all see yourself building a fix my Oculus world, or like, I mean, I don't know if y'all can give away any of that information yet, or but like, do y'all see the aspects of y'all building up a virtual
Mm.
entity just like you did with YouTube, just like how you did with the social media like platforms? Do you see like you building a space in VR? I mean, not VR, but like with the XR community like that too.
Yeah, I'm not saying it couldn't happen. I would say I think like a lot of things, like the YouTube channel took a long time to build compared to just building the arcades, and Fix My Oculus took a long time to build compared to what came before it. We're always evolving, and we're always kind of
Yep.
shifting to meet the market, and wherever we feel like we can reach out and help people. So it's just sort of an asset and like time energy allocation issue, is that really even though we kind of have this brand and we have this YouTube channel, and it kind of I think Preston and we'd laugh about this behind closed doors a
Mm.
lot. It's we'll get people who call in or email us or reach out to us, and we kind of have this persona of being a brand that's much bigger than we are. It's really the two of us are like 4 or 5 employees depending on the day. And that's it. And so we don't we're limited, I think, in how much energy and time we can allocate out to products
Yep.
or projects. And I think social media has been sort of the big thing that we've been putting a lot of time and energy into, just because the reach is so broad. But as the metaverse continues to grow, I would love to grow along with it. I guess that's probably the best answer. Is we're here, we're playing around with it, we're learning about it and experimenting with it like everybody else is, and figuring out what its limitations are. As it grows, I'm sure that we'll grow alongside it and just kind of meet that market where it is.
I
On the
think
inside and out.
a part of the evolution for us too is, where do we see ourselves in growth? But obviously, if the headsets are still around, we'll still try to work on them. But the socials has been a big push for us, and then maybe looking at the commercial space. There's a lot of adopting of VR headsets in commercial in the commercial world. So maybe there's some relationships in the future for us. I think we kind of see it as we're here, we're helping out where we can, and then potentially there's growth there. So that's always a possibility.
I always kind of make the joke, like, I don't know Mark Zuckerberg, and I've never met him, but
He's heard of us.
he may
Uh,
have, he may have.
oh, you know he
But
has. Like I'm
I think he and I have two things in common, which is that we really love VR, and we really want to keep people in VR headsets for as long as possible, because we're both really excited to see where the industry continues to go and grow. Preston and I just kind of play our role in that. I love VR. I love the concept of VR. I've loved VR ever since I first heard about it and stepped into my very first virtual reality arcade many years ago. And now my sort of mission in life is just to keep VR headsets around and functioning, and in whatever capacity I can do that.
Yeah, that's what makes it like a revolving cycle of construction instead of destruction. Because
Yeah,
That's right.
again, we
yeah,
like we all have like a certain place that you can find that certain love, and with that passion behind it, that's what makes the like it don't become like a facade of like corporation. Because I can see this like pop up in like multiple places. Like, hey, like you could have okay, if you're not able to send into that, we can send you to one of our substations that we have right here. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that's what builds up like a lot of like that's a pipeline. That's what a lot of these corporations do. And that's one thing you were saying earlier about like with the longevity about like with
Mm-hmm.
VR. That's what I love about with this VR is changing every day. It's growing. It's
Yeah.
growing. There's new packages. There's new SDK. There's new files.
That's right.
That's to learn in there. Just like, but
Yeah.
we have to learn with that. Just like it's not gonna. It's going to stay in a point. Like we used to be on here to load up on a Nintendo Boy, and I kid you not, like Nintendo Boy is really making a comeback next year. They have pre-orders with that and everything, and I'm just sitting here like amazed right now because I'm like, we're doing this with like we're they used to laugh at headsets to now everything is becoming like a headset aspect or it's becoming to like it has you have to be immersed in it now.
Yeah.
And like my son was just making a joke to me like, Dad, I could sit here and really be Mario. And I'm like, well, you can already do that now on VR chat if you think about it. But then I
That's
sat,
true. Yeah.
but then I sat here and I
I know
laughed.
these two are in VR chat all the time.
Oh yeah, they VR VR chat like, but no, I say that to say this too, because I see that with certain components, I can just imagine how Nintendo's probably gonna have their own spin. Like, okay, hey, we
They
have you
might.
really walking around as Mario, or so like you could really you could only be on here like you could take off the hat or feel like you're with Miss Daisy. I mean not Miss Daisy, Peaches, whatever her name was. I gotta play the game more. But
Yeah.
I say this to say, man, no, I thank y'all for what y'all do with the community because you're showing longevity about not even just about wanting to fix these products, but hey, keeping them around because if we all watched it, I'm a movie head. We all watched Wally. You see what happened when they deal with all the discarded robots, everything that's like never not abuse. They don't take from it, they don't repair it, they just throw it away and just have the next one go in.
Yeah.
Like we see, like now again with Apple and all that, we are on the 17 version of the same damn phone, and I am just here like
Yeah.
and people are just sitting like, no, but wait, there's something more that they added to it, and I'm like, that's called makeup. That's what we do. But then I'm like, but you seeing stuff like with again with the Meta Quest, we're able now to sit here. Like I remember getting on here, like man, 3D is not really popping out to me like how it is to now. We watching straight movie trailers, straight 3D, like with James Cameron,
I
like
did see that.
technology and everything that's really
Yeah.
added. Like yes, like it's really it goes way beyond and. Like we're only gonna be able to see it on this type of headset. Yes, we have mobile and everything, like that's all loading up, but it's only still that one motion of like
Mm-hmm.
this like, stay immersed. You have to really put on your headset, or you really have to be like the best way I put it, like lawnmower man. Like you really have to stay.
Lawnmower
Yeah,
man.
and again, yes, like I because he made me laugh when you talk about like with this VR, and this my love of VR just came like way beyond when I was able to play a little Power Ranger game on the like on the headset, and it was like just a 2-bit like game that's you just sitting there like swiping at the air. To now,
Mm-hmm.
I can sit here and like dress up as one of my favorite Power Rangers, or not even as that, I can sit here and customize my headset to those certain approach. And no, I just really thank y'all though for what y'all do for this community because man, it's really it's nowadays it's rare to keep it as a business front, but to have like the community sense behind it,
Yep.
that's what I love to see because you see the community really rock with you. I would tell y'all before y'all live stream, y'all had cats in there really sitting there like, hey, we counted down. It's hey, that show don't start till 2 hours. And they really said, I mean, you only see that like really what you wait for like, rock stars or you wait for like people like you really want to really learn from. And you can really tell like people really want to listen to what y'all guys have to say.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said earlier, I mean, Zuckerberg know y'all on the radar just like because they know you got
I
to
know
know
he
what's out
knows.
there. And I mean, I don't say it in a bad way. Like I say, you got enough equipment that passed through y'all hands to like, hey, we could sit here and rule the world like Pinky in the Brain, or no, we
Yeah.
sit here and have it pass through. Like we make sure, like, hey, this is what worked on. And man, I just have it before I even leave, man. I know I just have to ask this question because one of my viewers told me to ask it. What is the craziest thing that you had to do from a repair wise? Like what
Oh.
story did you get? Like did you have anything with Vaseline like all in it? Like I mean, I know like we all
Oh.
you know the communities that's all around. Like we could say that.
I've had a couple that were really bad, that really stick out in my mind. Most recently, someone sent us a headset, a Quest 3, and its controllers, and they tried to foam package it, but they accidentally didn't like wrap it up properly, so the headset just came encased in insulation foam. So that was one. I had a headset that had maple syrup spilled inside of it, and so we had to clean the maple syrup out of it. And then I have probably the grossest one was a headset that I opened it up and it had some sort of food in it, but the food wasn't the bad part. What was bad was that they had just put this like in a closet somewhere and it attracted bugs. And so the headset was filled with bugs that came in from the food that was inside the headset. And so when I opened it, just like bug carcasses just fell out of it. So
started a whole colony in there.
it was so gross, man. It was so gross.
Man. Oh my gosh, maple syrup. That's the thing that got me. Like, what are you doing around maple syrup with your headset? Like, it really,
I don't know.
that's
Eating
like the
breakfast,
first question.
I
Like,
guess.
and that's what I mean. But that's what like really that makes me laugh though, because I say I know some people who really stay immersed like with this. I know like I watch the news sometimes on here, and I catch myself be trying to leave out the room, and I'm like, oh, I can just bring my headset with me, and all this and that, and so like it's really maple syrup. I'm still stuck on that. Like I thought Vaseline or something like because I had a homeboy. I'm not putting you on blast. I'm sorry, but this man, he's a part of a little community that's in VR, the VR Dark Knights, we call them. And like he was telling me, like one time, like he was just doing something, he just had like a whole bunch of like substance fall on his VR, and I'm like,
Oh no.
like what, like, and the first thing that popped in my head, like, what would you be doing to have that even happen? And I'm like, oh, some Final Destination stuff. You had it fall off his bed,
Final
like right on top of his headset. And man, that's what you see like with this. But no, man, before I even have y'all leave, do y'all have any words that y'all could leave just for like anybody chasing the format? Not like even if it has to be in VR, but y'all see
Well,
y'all were two businessmen up here. But yes, sir.
before we finish up, we did say we want to give some shirts away. So if you have some people in
yeah.
your community, you tell them that they can either message you and you can holler at me and I can send them out. But I'll let you pick who you want. I wanted to give a couple shirts away, so I know we've got a couple people in here.
Yeah,
You
y'all
got,
hear that? Y'all hear that, man? Okay. Yes,
So if you
yes.
message me, we'll connect and I'll get some shirts out to these lovely people. I know some of them
All right.
already. Isaac
All right, and
and Trixie.
I see Isaac out here. I
We'll
see
hook you
y'all all
up.
in the crowd. Yeah, make sure y'all DM me, man. I said I'll say this all out too. I said all my viewers just tuning in. Yes, man. I'm thinking of a number between 1 through 10. Yes, man. Not no Chris Angel stuff. I'm not gonna say 3.8. But yes, man, 1 through 10. And if y'all get the number, or if y'all close to the number, man, it will be a top. How many shirts are we doing? How do you want to say
I
that?
don't know, dude.
5 shirts.
5 shirts. We'll
So
give
5 shirts. Okay,
shirts
so
away.
like the top 5 answers with that. So hey, I don't want y'all to be like 2.2, all this and that. Like like just keep it all regular, man. The closest number, you get the top spot with that. But yeah, we will be picking 5 people, man. So yes, tune that in. Make sure if you don't have me at it, add Howard702LV under Instagram or all handles or anything that you got internet on, and RIP to AOL because you're not gonna be able to find me on that no more after September 29th. I just want y'all to know that. So if you got dialed up with them, go and save your stuff because it's not gonna be going on no more.
It's a podcast world.
Oh snap! You just scared me. Yes. This is the Howard Hour. You can just right there back there with the red spot. I say because you don't want to be caught on the mic talking. Thank you so much. But yes, man. So before y'all even leave, y'all have any words that y'all could just leave up here?
Preston's gone. Where'd Preston go?
Here.
Oh,
I'm here.
You bounced out for a second.
Oh, my bad.
I'll let you go first. So.
Oh, to finish out. No, yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, we had this conversation earlier today, and honestly, if it wasn't for this group over here and like everybody that's in your chat, like we couldn't do what we wanted to do. So I really appreciate the support and the 100,000 subscribers. That's crazy, but honestly, we couldn't do it without the community and the VR community, and it's been really cool to meet people that have been we've been to the events and talked to people and been involved. It wasn't for you, Howard, then we wouldn't be here. We would not have met you. So
Hey, no, that's what I'm saying. Wouldn't be able to throw back some at the beach house, but not even as that, man. It's amazing. We
Oh
can sit here,
yeah.
we can chill, we can
Yeah,
have,
that's right.
and that's what I love about like with VR. We can sit here and have fun. We can sit here and chill, but interact. But not even as that, I can sit here and see what make y'all great individuals. Because like I tell you, when I first met y'all and everything, I'm like, man, okay, I heard about your work. So to see like the cats behind it, that's what really is like a whole different feeling because you really see like when people have a passion about what they're doing. And I remember again, we sitting there like having lunch or so at industrial. I remember, and we just talking about we was having a whole conversation about headsets. And I just remember like, man, this is like what makes this space because we are all sitting here talking about the same thing right now, all with our own passion, and we're adding our own like dialect, our own in tune behind it. So man, to really showcase that, man, I thank y'all for what y'all do with that because the community is really gonna rock with you when you're supposed to do what you're supposed to do on here. And man, I haven't seen that name in so long. Isaac Moon, shout out to you. I haven't seen that in a while. And I mean, that's what I say about VR names. Like y'all be having the cats come out the woodwork. I know I sound like an old '70s pimp,
Eh?
but yes, y'all jive turkeys better be all chilly. But yes, man. I thank y'all for what y'all do. And can you let the people know where they can all find you at and everything?
Yeah, fixmyoculus.com. Anytime.
You can email me, Preston at fixmyoculus.com. That's your, or you can DM me on here. Either one.
Look,
Yeah.
hey, he gave the personal y'all. So hey, make
Yeah, if
sure
you need
you hit him
something.
up. Don't give him the Dr. Phil headset. But no, man. Oh, see, look, that was the wrong sound bit, Dr. Phil. But no, man. Well, I say this and say, folks, that when this day and age, you really have to be a part of a community to not just thrive, but to really showcase about we are in this together. Not no High School Musical, but man, to reach one, you teach one. But not even just that, you can really see in the community factors. We go to school to learn. We sit here and go to libraries, but we can sit here and go to each other and learn that same format. And with these two individuals, they are showcasing that. They're doing that, but not even just that. They're showing you that, hey, you can chase your dreams with what you want to do. You put your mind to it and you stay true to it. You see what goes
Mm-hmm.
on. And I can say this, folks, man, it's so amazing to see that because, hey, I hit them up and say, like, man, I really want y'all on the show, but not even is that to have them as sponsors behind with Meta Woodstock. It's amazing to really see this is what makes a community when people can all come together. It's all like y'all are all in different sectors of the world right now, but y'all all came together in this sense of community because y'all all have some certain tie with this, and that's what makes it. And I really see somebody in here right now with the name community channel. That's what I mean. Like, this is not coincidence. I keep saying this all the time. Like, it's no coincidence. And man, that was the word of the night. And I just say, man, I thank y'all for what y'all do. But yes, man, this is your boy HT Howard 702. Let's get tripping like a kid, untie his shoes. You see the vibe and you see the move. Thank y'all for rocking with me because I rock with you. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for Meta Woodstock 4. We will be streaming live in Horizon Worlds, man. So make sure that you tune in. Make sure you type in Meta Woodstock 4. 444. Throw up y'all foes. But not even as that. Up until next time, do something great. Go and flood this stuff like a lake. And man, y'all go and celebrate with me. And also, before we leave, I'm so sorry, man. I keep getting tongue tied. Your boys, yours truly, I will be on YouTube this Sunday. Make sure that y'all check out the Jubilee channel, Jubilee under Surrounded. Yes, I will be under there. It's 20 of us conspiracy theorists versus one journalist, and we are going against Andrew Callahan from Channel 5 News. So yes, make sure that y'all tune in and you'll be seeing yours truly pop up on there. It's just not no like little snippet. Make sure y'all really go and like, subscribe, share, and subscribe. And hey, man, go add up your boy. But yes, man, this is your boy HT Howard 702. Thank y'all for rocking with me because I rock with you. Go and do something great. Let's go.
Woo! Awesome.
Hey.